Not sure if I should leave my glasses on or take them off. Should I leave them on or take them off? I feel like I look more professional with them on. I think I'm gonna leave them on.
Hi, my name is what? My name is my name is name's Sadie.
Can't you see it's
Hey guys, it's Rochelle. I'm here by myself today. I'm actually doing 2 videos this week. I'm a video behind. I realize I haven't made a video every week, so I'm going to make a video of the things that I didn't get put into last week's video of me and my friends. And then this video, this week, I'm talking about something that happened in June, which actually leads up to something that happened recently. I was watching Bryan Star's You Now video. Some of the fans expressed about his opinion about Andy Sixx from Blackfield Brides standing up for him against Christofer Drew from Never Shout Never. I had never heard anything about Christofer Drew saying anything rude to Bryan Stars at all. So immediately after I saw that, I looked it up. Bryan Stars went to have an interview with Never Shout Never, his second interview with Never Shout Never. You know, he was excited. The first half of the video you're watching, and his friend's excited. He loves Never Shout Never. Never Shout Never inspired him. It was one of his first interviews that blew up. He was super excited to interview them again because everybody's been asking for him to interview them again. And the interview itself were kind of just not liking the questions, and you could tell, and it was just awkward for everyone the whole entire time. Go to 35 minutes. It's right after he I think his name's Taylor. It's Taylor and Hayden. I just keep getting which one's which mixed up. Taylor, Hayden, and Christofer sitting obviously up next to Bryan, and after Taylor expresses something about breaking up, I want to state, and I forgot to state at the beginning of the video, try not to get into band drama that much. I hate it. It's kind of like, they had a problem together, but they still both make genuinely good music in my eyes. There's a lot of things that go on the media that I don't enjoy. So, either way, I think everything that happens in media is kind of, out there. But, with this, and the reason I am talking about it, is because I believe that this is real. This is genuine. You see Christofer Drew do this to Bryan Stars, and it breaks my heart. Bryan Stars does put his life into this. For this interview, he states a couple times he drove 7 hours just to interview Christofer Drew. He also brought New York Times with him to interview Christofer Drew. And Christofer Drew does that to him. I understand where he's coming from when he says it's a 3-piece band, because everybody focuses on Christofer Drew. I focus on Christofer Drew. Just like everyone focuses on Kellen Quinn and Sleeping with Sirens because Kellen Quinn's the lead. Everyone focuses on the lead because it's the one you see the most. And it's just a common thing. I mean, I understand Christofer Drew kind of getting mad about it, because the thing is I think this could have been taken plenty of different ways by Christofer Drew. The first way is he could have said something off camera about him wanting other questions to be asked. He did not have to do it on film. The number one thing he should have done, if he planned on doing that in the interview, or he didn't like the previous interview he had with Bryan Stars, he should have said no. I mean, Bryan's feelings would have been hurt, but they would have been hurt a lot less than you calling him a joke. Bryan Stars does exactly what I want to do when I grow up, and that's another reason that this story hit home for me, even though I didn't find out about it until almost a year later. At the end of the video, Bryan Stars puts in that he was crying at the end. He went into a room by himself and expressed himself to the camera. Honestly, I adore Bryan Stars 105%, but I didn't think that was necessary. I understand why he cried. He had every right to cry. I would have cried. I would have probably bawled my eyes out, because somebody that inspired you and somebody you looked up to basically told you they hated your interviews. It's basically Christofer Drew took the interview, pooped on it, and gave it back to Bryan. I feel like Bryan didn't do this for the wrong intentions. He didn't post this for the wrong intentions at all. I believe he had every right to post this. And And that's disrespectful for Christofer Drew because he did a first interview with him and it went completely silly. I believe they barely talked about anything down to earth. I'm not exactly sure. It was like an hour long and like it was awesome though. I loved that video. It was awesome. But unfortunately I'm not finished because obviously this story is not done considering it happened so long ago. There's more to it. I found that Christofer Drew did an interview with some sort of thing I've never heard of. It's called the Gunz Show. The interviewer stated how stupid the interview was itself. That Bryan Stars was talking about nothing the whole entire time and it was 44 minutes. And I think that that's also kind of stupid that somebody's going to get mad at you for the time frame of Bryan Stars interviews. Again, Bryan Stars interviews normally are longer. It's smart of Bryan Stars to take as much time as he can and get as much footage as he can and then edit it all and put it all together. I personally, after I found this, I didn't look up, and I should have in my mind. I'm kind of sad that I didn't. I didn't look up what Bryan Stars says. Like if he said anything back to that, I'm not sure. Because I'm not sure if what Christofer Drew is saying is true, that they went out to his car. I'm not sure if I totally believe that. I mean, I could believe that because in the interview that is not written down here, he states that Bryan Stars is crying by himself in the room while they are smoking out in the car. So I'm not sure if I 100% believe Never Shout Never because, you know, I wasn't there and I didn't experience that part of it. I experienced what I saw and I have an opinion on what I saw, but at the same time, you know, I didn't see what Christofer Drew is saying, so I don't know if he's telling the truth. Again, with Bryan Stars, I mean, I love Bryan Stars to death, and I feel like in every video he is the same person and he is genuine, but if Bryan Stars stated that never happened and I didn't see it, I don't know if that's true or not because I don't know Bryan Stars and I wasn't there. I'm not going to take sides necessarily. And, you know, in the end, I'm probably still going to listen to Never Shout Never's music, but, you know, it's just kind of depressing to see somebody's true colors throughout an interview. And one of the things that I don't like about Christofer Drew, that I haven't respected about him since I stopped listening to his music as a child, is the fact that he does do drugs, and he does hard drugs. And I don't like that. I don't respect that. I don't think you should be portraying that on kids, that it's cool to do drugs. In the end, the reason I am posting this video right now is because of the Blackfield Brides video. Sixx maybe spent a minute talking about what Never Shout Never did. And this video was posted recently. I can't remember the exact date. I'll put a link in the description. What he said, and it was kind of like, oh, we're not saying any names, but everybody knew who they were talking about. And I just think, in the end, I think it's completely awesome that all these bands have gotten together and stood up for Bryan. And I think it's really humbling that, you know, one person can cause this flood of people saying how much they adore what Bryan does. And I think it's an awesome feeling to see that just one rotten apple doesn't ruin the whole batch. And right before I went to make this video, because I was doing a little bit of extra research, I saw a video that a girl made, which was put together of like another link in the description. I'll put it in the description again. It was like a montage of all these bands who stood up for Bryan after it happened. And I also thought that was really awesome. Like that's what I thought. Sixx was the only one who did it, but honestly, after it happened, everybody was like blowing up at Christofer Drew and stuff, which again isn't necessarily the right thing to do. That's not how we need to be acting. What Sixx did was cool in an extent because he was like, I like Bryan's interviews and I enjoy doing them, and it was just humbling. I'm gonna end this with I love Bryan Stars interviews because I feel as though when I watch them, I'm getting to know the band personally more so than about their music. And I feel like Bryan Stars interviews are timeless because I feel like most interviews get posted and it's not timeless. They're talking about music that you already knew was out, and it's just, I feel like Bryan Stars opens us up to a whole new interview that we can watch and enjoy any time of the year, and I love Bryan Starr's interviews. So I want you to leave comments about, first of all, what you would rather me do, talk in front of the camera or have more friends and hang out with them and do weird poopy videos. Number 2, I want you to leave a comment about your opinion on what happened between Bryan Starr's and Never Shot Never, even though it was a really long time ago, and even though I'm bringing up the past. And I want you basically more so not to just comment on what happened, but I want you to comment on how you feel about all these bands standing up for Bryan, even almost a year after it happened, and still sticking it out for him and loving what he does. And tell me what you think of Bryan Starr's interviews. I want to do that someday, so let me know how you feel about it. I would really love your feedback. I'm going to try to do a little bit more newsy stuff. And tomorrow, look out for another video. It's going to be silly, and it's going to be outtakes from me and my friends joking around. So thank you. Leave your comments. Rate, subscribe, enjoy. I hope you liked my video of me talking about my opinions, and I love you. And this is my outro of me singing.